To what extent do I have a say in my decisions? Knowing what I've done in my past, is it predetermined what I do in my future? In my present, it seems like I can do anything. I can choose from various options. But is this an illusion or reality? To answer this question, I examine the game Outer Wilds, which, with its whimsical and creative style, makes me ponder the consequences of my decisions. And now, based on this game, I'm exploring the question, what is it that I can truly influence? This video includes spoilers for the game. Time and control. The passage of time is represented by the planets called hourglass twins. As time progresses, the sand is siphoned from ash twin and accumulates on ember twin. This process gradually uncovers structures, entrances, and secrets on ash twin, while simultaneously burying locations on ember twin. Players must carefully time their exploration on both planets to assess certain areas before they are either revealed or concealed by shifting sands. Like in a good sibling relationship, these celestial bodies complement each other. Their interaction not only mirrors the cyclic nature of time, but also physically prompts the utilization of time. Since time is finite in the game, the twin planet system guides me and urges me to be in control and to engage actively rather than merely observe. There is a continuity of space and time, and I am an integral part of it. The game is set in the time of the sun's imminent supernova transformation. The game starts, and after 22 minutes, the sun suddenly explodes, and so do I. Then the gameplay restarts from where I began, until the sun naturally explodes again, and I die again. My memories travel back in time, immersing me in an infinite loop. I might feel that what I do is pointless since I will die anyway. However, I learned that it doesn't matter if the end is near. I will return anyway. My time in the game is relative. No matter what I attempt to control through free will, my body will perish. The only exception is my memories, which always remain. I feel encouraged to progress throughout the 22-minute loop, or should I rather think in terms of time spans? There are points in the game where I can restart the loop on purpose. Besides me, there's another character in the game, Gabbro, who is aware of the cycle too. He also relives the sun's explosion, just like my character. He's waiting for the end while playing the clarinet in a hammock. He has experienced it so many times that it's become his routine. Talking to him, he invites me to meditate with him and wait for the end. Instead of dying accidentally or running out of time and being burned up by the sun, I choose to meditate until I peacefully sense the explosion and wake up as if I had just been asleep. The game encourages me to accept the end and even transforms my fear into meditation. This raises the question, if I habitually experience the destruction, what significance does the present hold for other beings who are unaware of their imminent death? Do they experience their 22 minutes differently from someone who is aware of their rebirth? Is their 22 minutes more valuable than mine, who is reliving the same cycle? What am I controlling when I meditate myself into death? My death or my reaction to the end? The fractal and control. In Dark Bramble, I also experience the role of a victim and the feeling of helplessness. The fifth planet is a plant itself. The entrance can be found on the plant's seed, which matches the size of my spaceship. Inside, I encountered an unusual phenomenon. As I proceed inward, more seeds appear, each containing further seeds. Randomly, I am attacked by an anglerfish, the deadly predator. As I penetrate deeper into the level, the space keeps expanding infinitely, and I become smaller. I find myself facing a fractal. The space is illogical and irrational. If I accelerate my spaceship, the anglerfish hears it and attacks me. This level takes away my only control, rendering me completely helpless. There's only one way to progress. If I do not act, if I do not try to escape, I might be able to get past the fish. The objective of the level is not survival. Death occurs anyway within 22 minutes from the start. Judgment awaits me. Death is crucial, or rather, the awareness of it. In Outer Wilds, I frequently revive, and the only significant thing is the realization that my existence is finite. The observer's control. I am attracted to the ground with various magnetic techniques overcoming gravity. For most of the game, my character is passive. I'm drifting, and I can't feel safe even on islands. I fall out into space at random times. I let myself drift with different techniques. I'm floating with a spacesuit. I'm not fighting, I'm not breaking things. I am passive. If I progress or do something, it is done indirectly. It's easy for me to fall into a black hole at the core of one of the planets. I repeat this involuntarily, falling out of space and falling back. Makes me experience complete helplessness. The illusion of possibilities. I interpret time in its flow. I'm aware of the present. I know I have a past and a future.
Newton recognized that an object's motion can be traced back to a specific cause. If an apple falls from a tree based on its current position, we can calculate its starting point, its past position. However, this depends on who perceives it. as the present can vary from person to person. Therefore, Newton hypothesized an external observer for whom the past, present, and future are objective and predetermined. I can dissect an object's motion into units, differentiating its positions over different intervals of time and different locations. In the present, I can perceive only a single position, only one slice of reality. What I experience in a given situation is the object's visual present. That's what its existence means to me.
The Newtonian physics is present on a simpler layer of the game, where I encounter the skeletons of an ancient civilization, the nomai. Looking at the skeletons offers a glimpse into the past. These beings once lived, and now they are extinct. I can now sense their traces of their existence, their bones. I can see an interval of progress of time, along with other characters we collectively perceive in the nomai's time frame, objectively from a shared present perspective. From the present, I learn about the fixed and determined past of the nomai, over which there's no control. The quantum moon.
Quantum properties allow for multiple potential paths to exist simultaneously. Quantum physics examines the particle's ability to be in multiple places at once. Upon observation, these particles reduce their presence to a single location.
The game adopts this theory, but at a macroscopic level, the rocks and celestial bodies embodying quantum particles. There is a quantum object, the quantum moon, which is able to exist in several places simultaneously. When observing it, it's in a single location. Because of its quantum nature, its presence is uncertain. When I'm looking away and back, it's in a different place. I can only land on it by photographing it. On the quantum moon, I can see a nomai, Solanum, who is also dead. Similarly to the appearance of the quantum moon, I can see her in different positions. Each time I look at her, a different posture appears. Solanum's situation is unchangeable. She remains dead in every case in the solar system. My control lies only in the variations of the view of her death. The locations of the quantum moon are also determined. They alternate among 6 possibilities. What I can do is to change the location with my observation. I travel to the place I select. Am I in control from the perspective of quantum possibilities? While my observation has an influence, I control the variations among the given options. Essentially, I experience only the illusion of control. Encounter with myself. In the game, jumping into a black hole leads through a wormhole. Sliding through the game's white hole, I arrive a fraction of a second earlier than when I entered. With sufficient energy, This time travel can extend to 22 minutes, which is the time loop itself that the game repeats. I wonder whether I exist in two places simultaneously. The game allows for a scenario where I send my memories back through the wormhole, but this time it sends my physical body back, starting the same loop again. When I return to that place, I can meet a version of myself from 20 minutes earlier who hasn't jumped into the wormhole yet. Jumping into the wormhole erases the anomaly of meeting myself. However, if neither version jumps, time's fabric falls apart, ending the game. If I disobey my fate, the game ends. In terms of actions, I lack free will. My will leads nowhere. Whereas through recognition, I can solve puzzles. I might recognize my own self, discovering my body and essence from an external viewpoint, while also remaining within my own body. The concept of free will gravitates towards self-exploration. Instead of destroying characters or settings as in other games, here I learn, discover, and encounter myself. The story of the eye. I fall into a vortex, seeing an infinite number of similar vortices in the moment of falling. These get reduced to a single possibility when I arrive. Similarly to the scene at the quantum moon, multiple possibilities get narrowed down to one. I meet my own image. My task is to find the game's main characters, gathering them around the campfire, interacting with them. I collect my memories, becoming aware of my experiences, observing and acknowledging them as they play a song around the campfire. The song suggests that I've entered an emotional space, the inner space of my consciousness and memories. Above the campfire, a ball of smoke forms, projecting certain images like flashbacks. Jumping inside the ball, I experience the Big Bang. Everything explodes. It's the end. What I experience inside the eye is essentially a flashback in preparation for my own death. The game's final scene occurs billions of years later in a fragmented universe where a new fire ignites, surrounded by beings. If I'm part of a Big Bang older than the universe itself, can the explosion I experience resemble a signal older than the universe? If time is relative in a quantum black hole and it's able to create a Big Bang, did the resulting signal occur in the future or in the past? The beginning and end converge. I experience a cycle. Am I responsible for the explosion in this story? Would this event occur without my actions? You. John Wheeler's theory of the participatory universe suggests that observation not only affects the universe's current state, but can also create past events. One of his most intriguing thought experiments is the delayed choice experiment, or the retrocausality. which claims that present observations can influence the past of the universe. This concept is often simply referred to as you, illustrating how our current observations bend back in time, shaping past events, including the Big Bang. John Wheeler, not the consciousness, but the distinction between the probe and the probed. As I reduce the quantum moon's occurrences through observation, the eye, which is far more uncertain than anything else, falling into it becomes its own cause. What can it mean? It's worth observing the symbolism of it. The player originates from Timber Hearth, a welcoming place filled with pine trees. Jumping into the quantum moon's vortex, I teleport to Timber Hearth. In a symbolic form, the same planet is manifested when jumping into the eye. It's a space familiar to me, where I come from, and where my journey ends with the explosion. The beginning and the end unite. Is the beginning the cause of the end, and the end the cause of the beginning? If we consider the participatory universe and the U shape of observation as a basis, the observer himself, the player, causes the universe's end through an explosion. Is it really me who causes the Big Bang, creating the space for later life? Would the universe's end occur without me, since I reach the eye, where the observer dictates everything? I see my own memories as flashbacks. This leads me to conclude that my own memories come to an end. The change has rather occurred inside. Conclusion. The game balances between possibilities of passivity and control. Whatever I try to control, I find that I'm only able to control certain possibilities. The one thing I can really change and control throughout the game is my observations. I can exert true control only over my recognitions. I can gain experience, which is necessary to solve the puzzles. Control gravitates inward towards myself.